I used to think that by the time you're retired, or semi-retired in my case, that you'd have it all figured out and be nice and happy, right? Well, I'm not sure it's that simple, and I've been rethinking that a little bit now that I'm at that stage of life. So I'm going to talk about a few things, 3 or 4 things that we can do intentionally to help to make our retirement years happier and more fulfilling. Happier folks at this stage are often the ones that stay curious. They want to keep learning. They want to keep experiencing. They want to try new things that they maybe haven't tried before. That's why they may take a river rafting trip. They may go skydiving. They may learn how to knit or crochet. But we've definitely noticed, and I've seen for myself, that when I live in a curious state, I'm definitely a lot happier, and I feel like I have momentum moving forward than when I'm in a stagnant state where I feel like I've done it all, I've experienced it all. It's time to just put my feet up on the rocker and just relax. From what I've seen, that's not necessarily the best strategy to take. You know the commercial or whatever it is, stay thirsty, my friends? I guess the moral of this story is stay curious, my friends, because that's how we keep moving forward in our semi-retirement or retired stages. Another thing we need to do is stay intentional about maintaining our friendships, the ones we already have, because we have plenty in place, and think of how many people you were potentially closer to when you were younger than now that you're older, because in those intervening years, we had jobs and careers and promotions and families to raise and retirement to save for. And sometimes we didn't stay as in touch or stay as connected to some really good friendships as we could have. For older folks, retirees, people in that category, social connection is one of the more depressing aspects when it's lacking, and one of the most fulfilling aspects when it's present. And there's research that suggests, I sound like I'm teaching you guys now, but I noticed this really great piece of research that suggests that daily social contacts not only benefit our emotional health, but our physical health as well. And that those who are well connected and socially active actually tend to live longer than those who are more isolated. So again, the takeaway, maintain those relationships intentionally. Call people, email people, set up lunch dates, do whatever it takes to maintain those connections, and that will help have a happier retirement. And another area is purpose. We need to find purpose. We had purpose before, raising families, working our jobs, getting promotions, saving for retirement. All those things gave us purpose. And all those things, by this stage in life, many of them have wrapped themselves up. The kids may be grown, the finances may be taken care of, the job is now behind us. What do we do now? Well, we still need to do something. We still need to have a reason to get up in the morning and put on our clothes and make ourselves look good and head out into the world and accomplish something. But what? We don't have a job anymore. We can volunteer. That would give us purpose. There could be an organization that you've always been fond of, something that they do. It could be working with kids, could be working with pets. You could volunteer at the Humane Society. Basically giving your time, your knowledge, your expertise, even just simply your presence. It's kind of like a job, gives you a little bit of structure, but by doing so, you get fulfilled as well, because you're not doing it for a paycheck now. You're doing it for somebody's good, the organization, whether they're kids or pets or elderly or whales, it doesn't matter. You're contributing, and that's what is super important. Along the lines of volunteering, we could mentor people potentially in our field. We can help the younger generation of whatever field we might have been in. Another one is creating new routines, new structures in our life that replace the ones that we've lost. If, 40 hours of our week was devoted to a particular task, going to work, we now have that time that we can invest in something else, or we just wallow. So it's super important to create new structures and new routines that can help us fill up that time. What might that look like? Well, again, some of the stuff we talked about earlier, volunteering, YouTube, taking up new sports, new hobbies, new activities, going on the meetup site and finding new things to try. It feeds also into the curiosity thing I was talking about a minute ago. But overall, having some type of structure. Get up at a certain time of the day so that you can go for a walk. Here was my structure, at least how I envisioned it. I'd get up at some reasonable time in the morning, not super early if it was a work day, but early enough that there's still a day ahead of me. Sort of clear my head, wake up, go for a walk. Come home from the walk, prep myself and get ready, go out, grab some lunch somewhere interesting, do some sort of fun recreational activity, come home in the afternoon, get some rest, and then in the evening either relax with my wife, maybe go play tennis or some other activity that would keep me busy. Now, does your structure have to look like that? No, but it's up to us each to intentionally find a structure that can help us along the path of staying more active, more involved, and therefore creating a greater degree of happiness during our retirement years. So if any of this has resonated with you and got your wheels spinning about ideas, if you have other ideas that I haven't talked about, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear. Let's create an exchange back and forth that's going to help us all be happier and more content during our retirement years.